Kenneth Lee Marten, a graduate student at the University of California at Berkeley, emerges as one of the 5 outstanding recipients of the Rolex Award for Enterprise and Gold Rolex Oyster Chronometer. An experienced zoologist, Marten plans an extensive field study and conservation and recovery program for a rare and endangered species. With his wife, Linda Hubbard, Ken Marten comments on this project, a hope of saving the scarce Abyssinian wolf from almost certain extinction.
They're sort of island populations of this species that are left after human habitation of the rest of Ethiopia. They're found above about 13 or 14,000 feet in these highland plateaus.
The Abyssinian Mountains are a national park in Ethiopia, but they're not very well protected because there's a large...
3 years ago, when Ken Marten was preparing his PhD thesis, he had been traveling in Africa looking at possibilities of studying primates, perhaps the gelada monkey, endemic to the Ethiopian desert plateau. Marten had read naturalist accounts of old Abyssinia, and while on his reconnaissance trip there, became intrigued by sightings of these imposing geladas. But the presence of another, more delicate animal was soon to take his eye.
And it was while looking for and finding those monkeys that I saw the Abyssinian wolf, and was kind of curious as to what it was and what its distribution was, and began to learn that it was an endangered animal that was found only in this area.
Let me ask you this, Ken. I've heard the animal referred to as both the Abyssinian wolf and the simian fox. Is there a difference? What is it really, wolf or fox?
It's not a wolf and it's not a fox. The normal wolf that people know about is Canis lupus, the timber wolf, or the North American wolf, originally found in Europe, North America, and Asia. Now, that's one of the largest of the canids, and the Abyssinian wolf is a much smaller animal. In fact, taxonomically, it's actually, I would predict, a jackal.
More common and accessible, the similar black-backed jackal provides Kenneth Marten with a species for vital comparison study in behavioral theory. To save his wolf, Marten must understand every characteristic that endangers it. So, the project begins. First with photographs taken in the Bali Mountains, one of only 2 remote areas in Ethiopia where the Abyssinian wolf still can be found. Kenneth estimates a need of 24 months in the field to see this study to a point where an effective conservation program might be turned over to local hands. Ethiopian farmers have accused the wolf of killing their sheep, and in retaliation, this relatively tame canid is often illegally shot on sight.
Now, in these black and white photographs,
Today, on the open terrain of its habitat, less than 500 Abyssinian wolves remain. In a field survey, Marten has already observed that this wolf lives off the rodent and the hare, and not livestock. But there are those who will not believe. And there are those also who will continue to poach, selling the pelts from these handsome animals.
I think that this has got to be my favorite photograph.
An unfulfilled hope has been given birth here, that only time might change. Ken and Linda have become fondly attached to the Abyssinian wolf as they look forward to working with this misunderstood fugitive on the far highlands of Ethiopia. At Marten's home, there is a thought for sharing, and it is this. We need to find a way for people and animals to continue to coexist on this planet, because how sad it would be to say to our grandchildren, when I was young, there were wolves roaming the mountains and plateaus of Ethiopia. We have pictures here to show you, but all the animals are gone.